Hello, Nicoloff students. It's me, Mr. Jaime again. I hope you guys are doing well, safe, and staying healthy. And for today's video, I don't know if you guys have seen my previous videos. I have mentioned it several times that I love animals and I love learning about animals. I've done videos on wolves, which are or is my favorite animal. And for today's video, I just wanted to talk about gorillas because they're like kind of like my second favorite animal, and I think they're quite interesting. So gorillas are the largest living primates. They are habitual bipedals. Habitual means like sometimes. So sometimes they are on 2 feet, which is what bipedal means. And but for the most part, they are quadrupedals. Most mammals in general are quadrupedals. That means that they walk on their hands and their feet as well. But there are certain mammals that are bipedal. But for the most part, it's just humans. The species of gorillas is divided into two with like four subspecies. But basically, there's two main gorillas. There's the eastern, and then there's the western. And the eastern gorillas typically live in like rainforest, but more lowland type of rainforest. And um, western gorillas usually live on mountains, but also rainforest as well. One very important thing that I want to mention right before I even begin getting into this, um, all types of gorillas are highly endangered due to hunting, poaching, and just in general human beings destroying their land. And it's just very important that we make this acknowledged. Now, beginning with the western gorillas, the areas that they live in range from the Republic of Congo to Gabon, which is a country, and to Cameroon. So basically, they inhabit and live in three three countries, and in Western Africa, and one characteristic that can like you can distinguish them by is that their foreheads are usually light gray or red, and they're more agile and they're a little bit slender. So that's one of the characteristics. Now, um, Eastern gorillas, as I was saying, Eastern gorillas they they are located in the DRC, which stands for the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is basically just very close to the area which in where Western gorillas live in, but they are just yeah they are separated. It's because they like to live in more flat grounds than mountains, and Western gorillas prefer that. But anyways, so yeah, they that's usually the country and the area that they reside in the DRC. Now, one very interesting thing and it's very highly important to genetics is that the DNA of gorillas is very similar to that of humans. So it's about 95 to 99% depending on what specificities you are looking for, but they are the closest living relatives to humans after chimps and bonobos, which are also another type of primates. Gorillas' natural habitats are, as I have said, rainforests, so tropical and subtropical areas of Africa, which are in the sub-Saharan Africa. That's what it's called, the area in which the rainforests are located in. It's basically the center of Africa. As I had said before, gorillas are quadrupedal, and basically the gorillas move around by knuckle walking. So they use their knuckles to walk and just give them more ability to move quicker. And sometimes they choose to walk upright and be bipedals, just like humans. But this is usually for a specific reason. Either they're carrying one of their offspring, or they're carrying some type of food, or just in general they're doing something, some type of an activity that like basically it needs them to use their hands, even fighting, for example. Now regarding the weight and height, wild male gorillas can weigh 300 pounds and up to 500 pounds, which if you put into perspective is utterly immense. And females can weigh up to 150 to 250 pounds, which is also very massive. Now, males can grow up to 4 feet, up to 5 feet. It's from 4 feet to 5 feet, the range. And Females usually stay at 4 feet, maybe 4.5, but that's usually they just stay at 4 feet. And one interesting fact of the tallest gorilla ever recorded was 6 feet, and it was 483 pounds, which is crazy. It's like so huge, like the size of a bear almost. Gorillas have a lifespan, which basically means how long they live for. They live between 35 to 40 years in the wild, and in zoos and in captivity they can live up to 50 years. And the oldest gorilla recorded was in Columbus Zoo, and she was a female, and she died at 60 years of age in 2017. And another interesting fact that I forgot to mention when I was regarding human beings being alike to primates and specifically gorillas. Gorillas also have their individual fingerprints, just like human beings, which is pretty crazy. You guys must be wondering where and how gorillas live or what type of houses they make. Well, so they make nests just like birds. They use tree branches, twigs, anything they can get a hold of in the wild. So and they just make little nests. Sometimes they choose to make their nest in the ground. It's just depending on the group of gorillas, or sometimes they choose to make their nest in the trees, just exactly like birds I have said. And it just that's basically where they hang out all day before they start looking for food. Gorillas are predominantly herbivores, which means that they usually stick to herbs and plants and things of that nature for their diet. Mountain gorillas, which are western gorillas, and they have more of a very diverse options, so they can choose from more things and they don't have to travel as much. So they feed on leaves, stems, pith, which is a type of bacteria that comes off like tree branches, but it's basically plant life as well. And this other thing called shoots, which is also the same thing. And you can think about it as tree branches if it makes it easier. They're just more moist. And they also eat small amounts of fruit because they have that option. Now, eastern gorillas have life a little bit more difficult because they have to walk more to get certain things. So their diet can be more diverse, but they do have to travel more. So they sometimes, how I said, it's a little bit, it's not they have more options, they just have to travel more. So they sometimes they eat everything as that western gorillas eat, such as branches and whatnot. But they like insects a lot, preferably ants. They also eat termites though, which is quite interesting. One very interesting and important thing I want to mention is that gorillas rarely drink water. I mean, they do of course, but it's really rare. Like they have been only spotted drinking water very small amounts of time. And the reason for this is because the plants and herbs that they choose to eat are it's called succulent vegetation, which basically means that it's comprised of like almost half water. It's basically water in a way. So that's one of the reasons they don't drink water. Now gorillas live in groups called troops, and troops are usually composed of one leader, which is known as the alpha male, and he's he he's distinguished by the silver on his back. That's why they're also called silverbacks, and the large canines. And all this is due to maturity. So silverbacks are basically the leaders, as I have said, and choose they choose where to go. They choose who is in part of the group, who they have to kick out of the group. They're the decision making. They're also in charge of safety, so they have to protect their offspring and protect their female wives, as you want to call it, or mating partners. But yeah, they're basically in charge, and they run the show. In other words, gorillas can be intimidating. I mean, you would probably think that they don't have predators, but they do have one very dangerous predator, which is leopards. And that as everyone has seen the movie Tarzan, yeah, that's real. Leopards are very dangerous when with gorillas. So just one thing I want to mention before I finish the video, and I gorillas are highly intelligent. Like I said, 95 to 99% of their DNA matches our DNA structure and our genes. So I just wanted to mention one highly important gorilla that just passed away recently. Her name was Coco. She was in captivity and she was highly intelligent. That she even learned sign language, which is quite fascinating. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys do a little research on your own about on gorillas, and because they are fascinating creatures and very intelligent creatures. We can even learn off of them as human beings. And I hope to see you guys soon. Remember to stay safe and healthy, and see you guys later.